Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a really complex and highly discussed topic, Goa's changing demographics and law enforcement. We are going to objectively unpack the recent data straight from the National Crime Records Bureau regarding foreign nationals in Goa. So, let's just let the numbers and the official police reports do the talking.
Let's kick things off with a pretty staggering baseline statistic. Between 2022 and 2024, crimes committed by foreigners in Goa actually outnumbered offenses committed against them by more than 6 times. Now, this 6x multiplier completely shifts how we look at the intersection of foreign nationals and the local justice system. It highlights a very clear trend that has, understandably, grabbed the attention of law enforcement over that 2-year stretch.
To put the overall scope into perspective, the Goa police registered exactly 251 cases involving foreign nationals during that time, and the split here is incredibly skewed. Out of those 251 cases, foreign nationals were the alleged perpetrators in 206 of them, while only 45 cases involved them as victims. Having this baseline really anchors our understanding. It's a targeted subset of total crime, for sure, but the ratio inside that subset is just striking.
Section 1. Anatomy of the offenses.
Now, what really jumps out here is the sheer variety of the charges. According to the NCRB data, we aren't just looking at one specific type of crime. It's across the board. We're talking severe violent crimes like attempt to murder, rape, rioting, and assault on public servants, right alongside financial crimes like cheating and theft. It also covers systemic violations under the Foreigners Act, immoral trafficking, and of course, the possession and peddling of narcotics. It's a really complex matrix of criminal activity.
And the origins of this issue? It literally spans across multiple continents. Cases were registered against citizens from Nigeria, Russia, Nepal, Tanzania, Bulgaria, Portugal, Uganda, Bangladesh, Liberia, Kenya, and the Ivory Coast. Because of this incredibly diverse list, law enforcement in Goa is dealing with a truly international demographic. And that adds massive layers of complexity to absolutely everything, from the initial arrest to court proceedings down to basic international communication.
Section 2. The visa overstay connection. So what's actually driving all of this? Well, police investigations, specifically into the narcotics cases, uncovered a very consistent pattern. They found a direct link between lacking valid travel documents and turning to illegal activities. Basically, when individuals find themselves in Goa without the proper paperwork to legally stay or work, some pivot to the criminal underground simply as a way to survive and make an income.
Think about it like this. Someone might arrive totally above board, holding a perfectly valid tourist visa. But the moment that visa expires, a dangerous shift can happen. The police note that some of these individuals end up turning to illegal enterprises, most notably the drug trade, just to fund and sustain their continued illegal stay in Goa. So, ultimately, it's an economic driver fueled by a bureaucratic reality.
Section 3. Tracking and Deportation.
Ensure that foreigners do not use Goa as a crime haven. This is the core directive from the government, and it isn't just empty rhetoric. It has actually driven authorities to take real, actionable steps to tighten the administrative net around international visitors and tackle this legal challenge head-on.
So how does that work in practice? It's basically a 3-step enforcement pipeline. Step 1 starts right at the point of entry, with strict immigration screening at the airports. Step 2 involves rigorous document verification for people who are already in the state. And finally, Step 3 is the ultimate enforcement action, deportation. It sounds straightforward enough, but the reality on the ground is a whole lot more tangled.
Because, of course, there's a catch. The authorities face a massive bottleneck right at Step 2. Verifying international documents is not like just checking a local driver's license, right? It requires coordinating with foreign embassies and navigating a maze of international bureaucracy. Authorities say this verification process takes a really long time, which heavily delays the final deportation. It's a massive bureaucratic hurdle that ends up keeping individuals stuck in administrative limbo for extended periods.
But despite those significant hurdles and the verification delays, the system is still moving forward. According to official reports, exactly 124 foreign nationals were successfully deported last year. So that is 124 cases where the entire pipeline, from identification through verification all the way to actual removal from the country, was successfully completed.
And if we peel back another layer on that final deportation number, we see a specific demographic focus. Out of the 124 total deported individuals last year, exactly 29 of them were Bangladeshi nationals.
Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. We've looked at the 6x disparity in the crime data.
We've explored the visa overstay pipeline leading into narcotics, and we've mapped out the government's deportation efforts. So the big question we want to leave you with is this. Will these tighter immigration checks and airport protocols fundamentally change the landscape of Goa's crime statistics in the years to come? Or will the sheer bureaucratic hurdle of international document verification continue to slow the whole process down? It is a fascinating intersection of local law enforcement and global demographics, and it's absolutely a trend we'll be keeping a close eye on. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack this data today, and as always, keep questioning the numbers.